Hello stamping friends, it is Angie here with Too Cool Stamping. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I would love to be your demonstrator if you do not already have one. We are here today for our live class for this week. We're just one day late. Thanks for joining me on my rescheduled day. Sometimes we just have to move it because things are not working out. I had a furnace issue yesterday, so we had to do some quote getting. So anyway, things happen. I'm glad you're here with me today. So I'm super excited. I am not, those of you who've been with me a long time, I am not usually into whimsical things. I like elegant, but I must be getting to be a little bit of a softie or something, because I'm telling you what, there's some really cute stamp sets in the annual catalog right now. And one of my favorites is one we're going to use today. It's the Turtle Friends Bundle. Have you guys seen that? It is on, let's see, it's on page 56 of the annual catalog. Super cute. Comes with a punch. I'll show you that in a minute. We're going to do 5 projects. And today, a little bit different for our Too Cool versions. You'll see I grabbed some stamp sets that were a little bit different than the turtles, because once you do a one way with the turtles, it's kind of like, okay, you get it. But anyway, I'll show you a couple of different versions using some different stamp sets as well. So that's kind of fun, a little bit different than we normally do. Before we get started with the projects, I just have a quick reminder that we are currently just a little bit away, like a little over, what is it? A little under 2 weeks from the end of the month, which means our last chance retired list is quickly coming to an end. That's the last chance list. You can print this out at my website, toocoolstamping.com. It has all of the retired products from our mini catalog. So we're coming on the end of the mini catalog on June 30th. Everything that is retiring from this catalog will be gone after the 30th or before, depending on whether they are can still be in stock. So it's while supplies last only. There are just a handful of things that are sold out, so you still have a pretty good chance of getting some of these items that you really want. Many of the items are on sale at a discount, so you can print this list out and see what the discounts are for some of your favorite things and get them now before June 30th, and then they will be gone for good. I always have a handful of people right after the catalog ends that are like, oh, I really wanted that. It's not available anymore. So look, go to toocoolstamping.com, print out that list, make sure that you have everything that you want before it is gone. All right, I'm gonna flip the camera around. We're gonna get started on these super cute turtle projects today. I hope you guys love them. I know I had a lot of fun creating them, so hold on a second. Sorry about that roller coaster ride. There we go. So here is our Turtle Friends Bundle. It starts out with a really cute stamp set. We also have an adorable little punch to make it really easy to cut out that main character in the Turtle Friends set. The thing I love about it is a 2-step photopolymer stamp set. So you have your main turtle image here, a shell that'll go inside, a sentiment that even will fit inside there, some little turtle friends, they have a shell as well, another little turtle birdie friend, and then you can add some little accents, a little party hat, heart, a little bow tie, and lots of punny turtle sentiments to go with it. So we're gonna have fun with that. And then we have our turtle image here that can be cut out. And there's a little tiny hole here as well. And this is for the eye of the turtle, I figured out. So you can actually punch that eye out if you wanted to stamp in a colored cardstock and then punch the eye out to make sure that that was a white eye, or maybe have him looking in a different direction. You could do that too. So I'll show you that on one of my cards as well. So super cute projects coming up. Let's put this over to the side and we will get started. I have my piercing mat out because it is a photopolymer stamp set, so we're going to need a little bit of cushion underneath our project. that helps with the ink transfer. And we're going to start out with Sahara Sand for our first project. This is just a standard 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. I have a background piece that I have already textured. This is a 5 1/4 by 4, and it's already textured with a brand new bark embossing folder. Oh my gosh, this is a really pretty one. It looks the same on both sides, and it is just really, really pretty. You definitely want to use your seal adhesive for a nice secure hold, or any kind of very secure adhesive. We'll put that down on the background. Next, I have a piece of the In Color Designer Series paper. These are packs of 6x6 paper of all the In Colors, and actually you can get these patterns in any of the colors from any of the Color family collections. This piece, let's see, I believe it's 4.5. 4.5 by 1.5 in the Evening Evergreen. And before I put that on, I want to add a little strip here. This is Early Espresso, and this is a 5 by 1/2 inch piece of that. So I'm going to add that just a little bit above this. These are just some little background elements that we're going to add to our card front. And, whoops, we'll add this about right there. Next, excuse me, I so lose my voice in the morning. Every time I get on this video, it seems like I'm losing my voice. All right, let's start with our focal point. I have a die cut label here. This is from the Hippo and Friends dies. Such a must-have for your collection. Even if you don't like the hippos, you have to get it for all of these awesome labels that come with it. They're just really pretty shapes. So that's going to be our background for our little focal point area. We're going to stamp our turtle onto some scrap basic white, and we'll start out. We'll stamp him in Memento Black, and we're going to use some Stampin' Blends to color. So first of all, we're just going to use the Soft Succulent. It goes really well with that Evening Evergreen. And I'm using the brush tip end so that I can really color in that wide area very quickly. Just kind of color over it a little bit to kind of blend out that color. Your marker strokes are pretty much going to evaporate, which is awesome. Next, we're going to have some gray granite. This is light gray granite. And we're going to color the rest of the turtle legs in. And the head. I love being able to use Stampin' Blends on these types of images. They just color so well. If you don't have Stampin' Blends and you happen to have the markers, that is fine too. That's a good way to do it. All right, if you wanted to do some shading on that, you could do that. I'm just going to do kind of a quick Stampin' Blends coloring. Okay, next we're going to add in our shell. So we have our shell image, and this is Evening Evergreen. We can stamp that right over the top, and you can see right through the photopolymer, so you can know exactly where to put that. I love how that looks. And then we'll bring our, whoops, one more thing. We got to paint his little toenails here. They're not toenails, but they kind of look like toenails. with some Evening Evergreen. There we go, finish them up. Then we'll take our punch. This makes it so easy. Just line it up, punch it out, and you have a cute, super cute little focal point. Now, before we add that, I want to add a little bit of grass. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. We have a little grass image right here, and we're going to stamp that in Soft Succulent. And you can see I do this a lot where I've doubled up my images. So one side I have the grass, the other side I have the party hat. So I'm going to just stamp a couple of these grass images there so he has a little place to walk. I think I'll do one more right in the center. There we go. He has a cute place to walk now. So we'll add this with some seal onto the card front. Straighten it out a little bit. Okay, and then we'll add this with some dimensionals. And those little legs, I'm going to put some mini dimensionals. I'm going to make sure he's nice and sturdy here. He's not going to flop around. I go a little dimensional crazy sometimes. You probably don't need to use this many, but I like to. Okay, so he's going to go right here. And then we're going to finish up with a sentiment. I have a little piece here of Soft Succulent. This is 2 3/4 by 5/8. And we'll need the Evening Evergreen stamp pad for that. Happy belated birthday. Sorry I was slow. Get it? Oops, I messed up. Let's try again on the other side. Every piece of paper, you can flip it over and have it a second chance. There we go, that's better. And then we'll pop this up as well. And we'll put this right down here at the bottom. Super cute. I have a couple little pieces of bling we got to put on there. We always need some kind of sparkle or something a little spectacular. So I have these elegant faceted gems, and I thought that they would be great because don't forget that you can alter them with your Stampin' Blend. So I have a dark Evening Evergreen, and I'm just going to kind of go around in circles very lightly with the bullet tip end. Don't press too hard. If you do a lot of these, because of the rough edges, you might see that your nib on your blends is going to fray a little bit. For that reason, I'm not going to, I forgot to mention that we're going to have a class kit. And in our class kit, I'm going to give you the embellishments, but you'll need to do the blending and the color altering, because I'll ruin my markers doing everybody. So you should have some Stampin' Blends to match. All right, otherwise you can just use the white and those will look nice too. But I love that you can color coordinate everything and make it perfectly match. So this is going to be the first card from the kit that I mentioned. Every week, just about every week, we do a 5-card live class kit that goes along with our projects. So all 5 projects that I make tonight or today, you can just place a $35 minimum order with me at toocoolstamping.com. Use that host code that I have here, 2P7F2EEM, and that will indicate that you would like this free class kit for the Turtle Friends. And you can get all the stuff already pre-cut, pre-embossed, ready to go. You just add the stamping any inks involved, and adhesives. And it is ready to go. So I also usually do a too cool version. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of going a little bit crazy today. I'm not doing just a turtle second version. I'm using a different stamp set. So this one, we're using the shells. Friends Are Like Seashells. I can't remember the name of it now. I'm totally drawing a blank. But I wanted to try something different, but I'm using the same basic layout, just switching out some of the colors. So I used soft seafoam as the card base and the background. Same bark texture. I used soft succulent this time for my designer series paper. Crumb cake as the strip. I think this is mint macaron for the sentiment. And then I cut out the stamped shell that was stamped in crumb cake, added some soft succulent little flecks, and then colored my dots with soft succulent. So really, really cute. A fun way that gives you just an idea that you can take whatever design that you see in a card and use whatever stamp set you have and make it into something really spectacular. Just case it, just copy and share everything. All right, let's go on to our next project. This one we're also starting with another in color here, the polished pink. Another traditional card base. This time we have a piece here of basic white. Let me give you some measurements. 2 3/4 by 4 1/2, or 4 1/4, sorry, 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then we have a mat here that's going to be 2 7, or did I say 2? It's 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then this is going to be 3 7/8 by 4 3/8 for the mat. So we'll set that aside for right now. We're going to do some decorating of this background. And I started out with some more colors of the designer series paper. These are just strips that are 1/2 inch of the fresh freesia, polished pink, and pale papaya. And I'm going to start out, we're just going to have a fun little background. And this is a great thing to do if you have lots of little strips. You could use this technique. You could cover the whole background if you wanted to. I'm just going to add some pieces right across there. So I'm just putting adhesive across the whole thing, making a diagonal little design here. I'm going to butt this right up next to it. I love these 3 colors together. They're so pretty. Nice, and they're bright, but also kind of soft as well. And I had 3 different patterns showing here just for fun. So once you get that on there, then you can take your paper snips and just trim off any of those excess strips. And we have a really cute background. Let me clip this off. I've got a little close here on the edge. Bloop. Okay. Next, we're going to add a sentiment. And let's see, we're going to add happy birthday at the bottom. And we're going to do that in mint macaron. There we go. And then we'll add this to our mat. And we'll add that to our card base. And I'm just going to add that right at the top. We have a little bit at the bottom, kind of gives it a little bit of weight at the bottom. All right, now on to our focal point. I have cut out already some layering circles die cuts. This was a basic white, and then I have a scallop circle again in the polished pink to go with that. And we're gonna make our little turtle, again, the large turtle. Stamp him in Memento Black. And we're gonna stamp him again over here as a second piece, and I'll show you why in a minute. We're gonna add a sentiment that it says, "It's time to celebrate." And we're gonna add that. Oh, you know what I did? I totally messed up, but that's okay. We can fix it very easily. So here's the first one. It's time to celebrate. We're gonna cut that out, punch that out. I forgot that I needed to stamp the turtle onto my mint macaron piece for one of these. So we'll do that. There we go. So this is going to be our main turtle. And then we're going to just cut out with our paper snips, our super sharp paper snips, and do a little paper piecing with this sentiment. So that just is going to go right over the top. There we go. So cute. Now, because it's a birthday card, I thought it would be fun to add a little party hat. So let's get our scrap over here. We're going to add a little party hat. And we're going to color that in with some of our same colors. Let's see. I'm not seeing my fresh freesia. All right. I think I have to go get my fresh freesia. I left it over at my other table. All right. So there's some polished pink. Some pale papaya. Hold on 1 second. Maybe a couple of seconds. It was just out of reach. Let's try the dark fresh freesia. And then we'll add that to the little pom-pom on the top. There we go. You need all 3 colors because it goes with the stripes. Then we're just going to use our super sharp paper snips. It's fairly easy to cut this out. And notice how I keep my blades kind of in a straight. I don't do a lot of curving around with my blades. I actually drive the paper instead of the blades. So I keep my blades pretty straight. All right, so here's our little hat. Now let's add him to our focal point background here. Put that right there. We're going to pop this little guy up with some dimensionals. And then this little hat, let's use a mini dimensional. I think I'm just going to use one, and we're just going to let the top of it kind of go. Put that on top. All right, almost done. Of course, what do we need? We need a little bit of bling. I have my, let's see, my dark polished pink. Again, we're going to alter. You could use these rhinestones as is, but we're going to alter those. I'm going to use the bullet tip end. I'll do a medium and a small, 2 smalls. And then we'll add that around, give it a little pop of sparkle. All right, there's our second card. Now I wanted to show you, I mentioned that little dot here. There's a little tiny, tiny circle right there in your punch, and it's for the eye. So if you wanted to stamp this again in your, let's see, let's go like this. There we go. You could actually pop that up or punch that out and have a tiny little eye that you can put in there. And you'll see I did that on my original card, so you can pop that out so that it's a little more noticeable. And if you wanted it to look in a different direction, up in the air or over to the side a little bit more, you could definitely do that as well. So that's kind of a fun little thing that goes with it. So that is our card for our second card, our Too Cool version. I did a lot of floral with this one. Gosh, I'm forgetting all the names of these. Something about blossoms. I'm gonna have it in the details in the description of this post. But this beautiful blossom set that we had a class on it a while back when it first came out. But I put that on a fresh freesia. I used the Hydrangea Hill designer series paper that will be retiring. I have some Misty Moonlight, and I actually made the background a little bit bigger this time so I could really fit that whole branch of flowers on there. I stamped the sentiment directly onto the background like I did here, but it was so crooked I couldn't handle it. So I stamped it again with the story label punch and then added some Misty Moonlight altered rhinestones. So I love how that turned out. The flowers are in fresh freesia, some rich razzleberry, and then some balmy blue actually goes with that pretty well. Okay, so this is the one you're going to get in your kit, but a fun alternative to that same very similar design. Okay, our third card is kind of fun. It starts with Granny Apple Green. This time it's 5.5 by 7 1/4, and it's scored at the 4 1/4 mark. So we're going to have kind of a shortened cover here. I already have a piece embossed with the hammered metal. This hammered metal is perfect for the Turtle Friends stamp set. You can see it kind of looks like turtle shell. So I love that. This is a 5 1/4 by 2 3/4 inch piece. And we'll add that to the card front. Okay, see what happened here? Sometimes this will happen because it's so sticky, it's going to pull that paper up. Just as you're rolling it, if it starts doing that, roll it back to get it out. Pull that off, and then just go over it super slowly. You might have to start it again. Super slowly in that area. Certain times, certain angles that you do this, especially on a texture embossed piece, depending on the direction of the fibers in the paper, you might have that happen. It's just because it's so very sticky. But you can work around it if you just go very slowly. All right, so here's our front cover. I have an inside piece here and a little piece that we're going to have peeking out of the bottom, but I want to add a sentiment on there. So my sentiment is, "You are turtly loved," which at first I was like, what does that even mean? I think it's a play on the word totally, for those of you who didn't get it like me. You are turtly loved. We'll add that to the bottom of this, and then add this to our card inside. I have a little bit of the Pool Party sheer ribbon, and I'm going to add that around this card front. I don't think I gave you the measurements on the pool party piece. That is 5 1/4 by 1 1/4. And I put that on the basic white 5 1/4 by 4 1/4, or 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside piece. All right, we're going to put that clear over to the side, and there is our card front. Now let's dress it up a little bit. I have a piece here of basic white, and this is 4 by 2 3/4. And I also have a scrap piece here. We're going to start by doing our main turtle. And we're also going to stamp the same image onto soft seafoam. For the soft seafoam piece, we're going to add a Granny Apple Green shell. If I can find my Granny Apple Green, here we go. So again, like the It's Time to Celebrate, we're going to do some paper piecing. So I'm cutting this out, punching this out. If you want to just do it like this, you're welcome to. I wanted to add a little bit of that pool party color into the turtle. So again, I'm going to paper piece this one, and for this one, I will be coloring. So I have pool party. Using that brush tip end again for being able to add on the color very quickly. And you just want to do a light touch, like you're painting with a paintbrush. Not a lot of scribbling, because otherwise you'll fray the nib, and you certainly don't want to do that. All right, they color very, very quickly. We're going to add some Granny Apple Green to his little toenails. There we go. We'll punch this little guy out, and then add our shell right to the top of that for our little paper pieced. Gives you a nice 2-color piece. All right, so there is our main character. We're also going to add, if I can find him, another little guy over here. He's going to go right here. And we're going to do the same thing with this little guy. So we're going to punch him out, or we're going to stamp him again. We're going to find the little tiny shell. Stamp that in Granny Apple Green. Now we don't have a punch for this one. That's okay. It's very small. It's not hard to cut out. We have our super sharp paper snips again. And when you get to the part where there's a bunch of lines that are connecting, that's where I go right up against that line. If you hit that line and maybe even go into it a little bit, it's okay, because you have this line here that it's going to match up to. So it kind of merges all together. So just like the big guy, we're going to color in with Pool Party. This is going to be a little baby and his mama. And let me add this little one to the top. Another little paper piece. There we go. We'll pop this one up in a minute, but first let's add a sentiment. This will go to the top here. Oh, do you see what I did? There's a dimensional on there. Oh, I hate that. So that's nice and screwed up, which we'll just do over. I'm going to finish this up. We won't put it all together. I'll show you my finished card. That's why I do finished cards ahead of time, so that when you have problems like that, where those little dimensionals get right in the way, then I have a backup plan. All right. This one, we're going to add the little trio of hearts. And then we would layer this onto our black. Pop this little guy up. Let me show you the finished project here. Dimensional free, stamped, finished project. This one's all nice and popped up. You have plenty of room to write on the inside, but it's a cute little congratulations for a baby or a first birthday, that type of card. Super cute. If you didn't want to do a baby style of card, you could also use the Forever Friends. That would be a really cute sentiment up there to go along with the you are turtly loved. But I really love how that turned out. All right, let me give you the Too Cool version. This one is with the Free as a Bird stamp set. Love that. Beautiful image to color with Stampin' Blends. I use the Calypso Coral, Pale Papaya, and the Pale Papaya and Calypso Coral blooms on there. I used Calypso Coral for the beaks, and then Soft Suede for the branch, and some Old Olive Light for the leaves. Again, I found a coordinating sentiment. Thank you. The world needs more of you. So it all kind of goes together. Some pretty Pale Papaya open weave ribbon. And the background this time is textured with the painted texture embossing folder. So just a totally different look using that same design layout. Really, really cute. All right, that's the third card for our class. All right, next up, we're gonna do a little birthday card. We're starting with So Saffron. I was like, where else do you guys have this? Do you get your hands like this? You're not really being creative unless you get a little bit messy, is what I've found out. You just want to make sure that it's dried enough that it doesn't get all over your whole card. All right, so I have, this time, I'm using up some of my Fine Art Floral paper. This is a 5.5 by 2 inch piece. And I picked this design because it does still kind of remind me of that turtle shell. A little more decorative maybe, but it kind of has that same geometric design as a turtle. And then we're gonna start with a couple pieces here that will layer together eventually. Let me get you the measurements. 2 3/4 by 4 for the basic white, and then it will be 3 by 4 1/4 for the Bermuda Bay piece. We'll start with this one by stamping in Bermuda Bay. Let me find our birthday. We're going to add that right to the top. Perfect. And that's all we're going to put on that layer. Everything else is going to be popped up. So we'll add this. We're going to add some of the really pretty Bumblebee. I knew it was an insect. Bumblebee gingham trim. We're going to tie that around the bottom here. It really goes, kind of plays off of that designer series paper. Just a double knot. this to our card front with some dimensionals. Gonna need a few here to make sure it doesn't sag in the middle. And we'll add that to our card front. All right, now let's get some turtles on here. So you already know the basic system that we used here for some paper piecing. I stamped and cut out this larger turtle. I decorated him with some Granny Apple Green light and Bermuda Bay light for the little toenails. This shell is in Faux Saffron to match the Faux Saffron background, and stamped with the shell in Granny Apple Green again. So there will be our first little guy. I did the same kind of a thing with the smaller one. This one is stamped and then colored with Bermuda Bay light, Granny Apple Green light, again with the shell, Granny Apple Green on Faux Saffron. If you don't want to do the different paper piecing, then pick a color of a turtle and just go with that. You don't have to do the two color. I'm just giving you that idea. It takes a little bit more work, but I really like it. And he's going to be standing on the back of that one. I also stamped out this cute little bird in Bumblebee and cut him out as well, just to save some time. And like we did before with the little party hat, I colored that in with some coordinating Bermuda Bay, Granny Apple Green, and Faux Saffron colors. So let's take some dimensionals here and build these guys up. They're all going to be standing on each other. Now I'm not going to put any dimensionals on the feet. They're going to be going right over the ribbon, so that'll kind of keep them up in the air so that they're not sagging. So this guy is there. We'll put one dimensional behind him. Well, maybe another behind his head. Just a little one fits right in there. Mini dimensionals really come in handy if you don't have those. So much easier than having to cut them in half. And then the little bird, we'll put a little mini dimensional behind him. And again with the party hat. So it takes a little bit of time to do some coloring and some hand, fussy cutting, but once you do, isn't it adorable? I just love how that all goes together. So super cute. Happy birthday from all your friends. It'd be a great card for a workplace where you have a lot of people or your whole family is sending a card. And then my Too Cool version. Again, I'm blanking on the name of the stamp set. You guys can help me out, right? You guys know it. What is it called? World of Good, maybe? I haven't used these things for so long, and I should have remembered when I got them out, but I didn't look at the names. I just used them. Anyway, we have the matching paper that's already gone. This is actually paper that was in the annual catalog. Some early Espresso Faux Suede trim. I love this ribbon. If you've ever tried it, it really is like suede, but very easy to tie, very thin and easy to tie. But this is just a beautiful card. We have some cinnamon cider in the background, mossy meadow, and early espresso. Great for graduations, for people who are, having retirement, that type of thing. But it worked out really well with the same card design. Kind of fun to see things in a totally different card. All right, so that's our fourth card for our Turtle Friends bundle class kit. We have one more. And this one is super, super fun as well. So this starts out with crumb cake card base. And then I'm not going, most of the things that I've already showed how to do, but I will show you the beginning of this. This is so fun. This is the Picture This die set, and it creates little peekaboo windows that you can, and it's perfect for things that are whimsical and little characters like this. So you have two different versions here, either the circles or the rectangles. And there's another stamp set like Barnyard Friends or something like that that goes with it really, really well. But anything that's a character that can be peeking out from these little circles and things are so much fun. And then when you cut them out, not only do you get this really pretty stitched all the way around, but you have these other circles that you could use on the inside of your card or for other cards. Or if you just, if you just needed an element that was like this for a card, you could use the Picture This to get these cute circles. So lots of fun with this die. I don't think it even goes with anything. It's just kind of a standalone die, so don't miss it in the catalog. It's called Picture This. And I'm going to layer it. This piece of paper here it's Coastal Cabana 3 3/4 by 5. And then I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of basic white. Now, what we're going to do with this, there's lots of different pieces because each one of these little holes is going to have something different in it. So let me find my ink if I can find it. Here we go. So the first one we're going to put in there. I just laid this exactly where I want it to go, but I didn't tack it down, but that way I can stamp right through there. So the first one, I put some Poppy Parade hearts. Next, a sentiment, Forever Friends. And this gets kind of close to the edge, so be careful, but it does fit right in there. And then the last one is that cute little bird. He's going to go down here. Doop. And then we'll add some turtles. So this guy here, I've already stamped in Memento Black. I colored him in with Granny Apple Green Light, some Crumb Cake Light, Bermuda Bay Light, and then I'm going to add my shell in Granny Apple Green, just like I've been doing for many of these cards, right over the top. Punch him out. And this is the only one that we're going to actually punch out. He's going to go in this big one. We're going to add, where's my other guys? Here we go. Add a couple more. And again, we're going to just go right through, get it nice and lined up. It's going to go right through. And I did him a little bit closer to the top because then you can add in some Granny Apple Green grass at the bottom there. We'll do that down here because we have another turtle. There's actually a third turtle. This one has his eyes closed. So cute. And then we would color these in, just to save some time. I'm going to just walk you through this card, but you would color these in very similarly to our first turtle. And then you would pop this up with dimensionals. So you're going to use dimensionals like all over. Big time dimensionals. Let's show you. Every corner and every little center bridge to make sure that it doesn't sag in the middle. We don't want that. Let's do one. Oops, let's do one here. Lots and lots of dimensionals. So you can see lots of dimensionals that will pop this up. This will be just added with seal to the card front. Whoops, I'm like, why doesn't that fit? Because it's upside down. All right, there we go. And then this little guy is going to be popped up as well, and he'll be tucked in here just a little bit. So you're going to have to cut his little butt off a little bit, or you could have his tail peeking out, whichever, and finish coloring in your little turtles. Let me show you what the finished one looks like. So this is my finished one. See, his little butt's just tucked in there a little bit. I also stamped a little bow tie and cut that out. You just cut it out by hand. It's in Bermuda Bay, and I put that on him as well. And then I hope that you can see the Wink of Stella. Do you see all of the shimmer? I put Wink of Stella on each of the little shells for the little and the big, for the hearts. I even did it for the friends. I just really, really lightly with the very tip, just did it very, very lightly over the word friends and also the bird. But you can see, hopefully you can see how shimmery everything is. It really makes it pop. You don't need anything else. Just keep all of the focus on these 6 different windows and how those all pop up and really, you know, focus on those really cute turtles. So that's your last project. Let me show you the Too Cool version. Like I said, pick any of the characters, any of the character whimsical stamps from your catalog, and you can come up with different ways that you can use these windows. This time, I put some of the ice cream cone paper, which is sold out. It's already retired, so that is no longer available, but I loved how it looked in the background of there for a little party card. You're the Best fits right in there. A little cake, I cut it out so I wouldn't have to stamp through. I could cut it out and position it exactly where I wanted to. A little fish that goes with the penguins, the puffin, and instead of, I didn't want to cover up his feet. I really liked his feet, but he could have been tucked into the circle, but I thought, he doesn't need to be. He's going to pop right out of that circle, and I like how that looks. So again, I put a little bit of Wink of Stella on the cake, a little bit on the fish, and then some on the party hat and his feet and beak. And also I went over You're the Best. If you do it really, really lightly, you can do it. If you have too heavy of a hand, it might get a little blurry because the ink might bleed a little bit. Just really super light. Okay, so there's our Too Cool versions. All right, let's get this stuff out of the way here. I want to show you all the cards that are going to come in your kit. How are you liking the Turtle Friends bundle? Hopefully you love it as much as I did. I had so much fun creating. So here are all of our cards. Hopefully they're all in the picture. Let's move it up just a little bit. So remember, if you would like to get that free live class kit, it's really easy to do. All you have to do is place a minimum $35 order at my website, toocoolstamping.com. Just go there, click on the Shop Now link. Make sure that you use the host code 2P7F2EEM. Needs to be a minimum $35 order. This offer will be good now through June 23rd, so next Wednesday, and then the kits will mail out on June 28th, the following Monday. Now, just as a little side note, if you do have a larger order and it is over $150, you can start earning Stampin' Rewards back on that order. You get 10% back, so at least $15, and it goes up for every penny. It's just a 10% percentage of your order. If you would like to use those rewards, which I know that you would, do not use the host code. The host code is something that when you use that, it allows me to earn any rewards that are accumulated with all the different orders. But if you want to earn those rewards off of your own order, and it's over $150 when you start to earn them, do not use the host code. That way you can enjoy your Stampin' Rewards on that order and get some free product. And I will automatically send you a live class kit. So no need to worry about that. All right, I hope you guys have had so much fun and really have enjoyed these cute little guys. And I just know you're going to have a lot of fun putting them together on your own. So I look forward to hearing your comments and knowing how you think about what you think about the Turtle Friends bundle. And yeah, I'm just really excited about this one. So again, put a comment or question or anything in the comments and I will follow up with that. I will have replay here as well as YouTube. And I did want to just mention here at the end, it would be great if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, because sometimes Facebook has not been so kind and I'm not sure how long we'll be able to do lives on this platform. I might be moving in the future to YouTube, so I want to make sure that you are aware of where I'm at over there. You just go to YouTube, type in Too Cool Stamping, and my channel should come up. Just hit the subscribe button, and that will make sure that you do not miss any of the live classes. All right, that's it for this week. Thank you so very much for spending some time with me this week, and I look forward to joining you again next week on Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, for another live class. Until then, this is Angie with TooCoolStamping.com. Bye-bye.